Welcome back to The Real Mark Bagwell, a wrestling docuseries. As promised, co-hosting not Jerry Hood. Jerry's under the weather. But we got superfan JP El Khoury. He is back. JP, welcome back to The Real Mark Bagwell.
Thank you so much for having me again, Jonathan.
Now, please let us know about this set. We have to go because we got our three-part WrestleMania 39 recap show. So you got those NWO shirts. You got the Hulkamania band. You got the WrestleMania 18 jersey. The belt. I think you stole Roman Reigns' belt. Tell us about this set, please.
All right. Well, we've got the NWO here. These are original WCW shirts. I followed Scott Hall's advice and I bought the shirt. So I got the shirt here and I thought it'd be a perfect way to show some love to Mark Bagwell. And we've got the WrestleMania 18 shirt that the baseball jersey actually that they were selling when they came to Toronto at the Sky Dome. And I purchased this then when I got to see Rock and Hogan go one-on-one. The hair still stands on my arm when I talk about it. Unbelievable. And we've got the replica belt here. I challenged Roman, but the wise man refused. So we couldn't push it forward. I tried my best to get it for you on the show.
That's how the wise man works. Well, in today's episode, we're going to be recapping WrestleMania, the first recap. And I want to talk, because I host this thing, I get to do what I want pretty much. I want to talk about my favorite matches from the program. In this chapter, we're only going to talk about 3 matches because those are the 3 key matches, in my opinion. The Dom match, the Gunther match, the Roman Reigns match. Now, we're going to start off with Dom because Dom is my boy. Love Dom Mysterio. Love the whole shtick. I was not a big Dom Mysterio fan at the beginning. I did not like babyface Dom wearing what I call the poo suit because he wears the full leotard, and because he needs some time in the gym. I get it. It's all good. He does now the muscle workouts from the gym, from the jail time that he learned. I saw that on Sheamus's account. But here's a little thing. Now, you watched the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, right? After the SmackDown.
Oh, I sure did. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, you noticed that the last speaker was Rey Mysterio. He was the last inductee, right?
He was, yeah.
In an otherwise somewhat lackluster field, we didn't get Lex Luger. We didn't get Buff Bagwell. We got Stacy Keibler. I don't know. I don't get it, but all right, sure, we'll go with that. Maybe Major Guns is going to go into the Hall of Fame too while we're at it. But Rey Mysterio, when he did his induction ceremony speech, do you notice who he mentioned early on in his speech?
That's right. Buff Bagwell.
He mentioned Buff Bagwell. Yeah. Talked about how he came to WCW. He was a star in Mexico, comes to WCW, and who does he mention as the big stars? Sting, Buff Bagwell. And Buff Bagwell was top dog back in the day up there.
Absolutely.
One of the first NWO entrants.
One of my favorite athletes, definitely on Nitro. Just amazing, man. I loved his blockbuster. Amazing. It blew my mind. The first time I saw it, I was like, that is a seriously cool move. So, and now you see it so often today too, right? So
it's true. It was a very unique move, and he executed to perfection because you think of Buff as the jack guy in the back here.
Yeah.
But remember, he was also a high flyer. He was, when he was a babyface as Marcus Alexander Bagwell, he was more of a high flyer than you think of as a muscle guy. And absolutely. I wasn't a big fan of the Marcus Alexander Bagwell gimmick at the time. It's like, Stars and Stripes. I'm like, okay, like American Males was a catchy song, but like I wasn't feeling it. When Buff Bagwell came out the first time and I heard that, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And a little known fact, I've said it on the show, Buff Bagwell debuted on my birthday. November 25th is the first time on TV we saw Buff Bagwell. So that was the best birthday present ever. Same way I would say with Dom, I love the turn. That heel turn can really rejuvenate you. And so when I heard Rey Mysterio talk about Buff Bagwell in his Hall of Fame induction speech, it opens the door even more for a future Buff induction. Based on his contributions to the world of wrestling, And, where he stood in WCW, he's in. In my opinion, there's not even a debate for it. But, having a Hall of Famer talk about him in his ceremony, I'm sure Buff heard it, and I'm sure it touched him very much.
Oh, absolutely. And I actually got to give a lot of love to Conan. That was one of the best introductions ever for a recipient. And you felt the love. He wasn't just there to get a bit of TV time. He was there because he loved Ray. And what an introduction that was, and what a great story he told. Like, that blew my mind. I was smiling ear to ear the whole time.
I was as well. I was on the edge of my seat for that. That was the best speech. WWE was very happy with, my sources are telling me that they're very happy with Conan's speech. They were not as thrilled with Ric Flair's speech, but you bring Ric Flair up, that's the price you pay. You never know where he's going to go.
Yeah. And he's Ric Flair.
And Dom walking out on Ray's Hall of Fame speech added to the mystique of their match, but apparently tears were starting to come down, or they were about to happen, and that's why he walked out, because he couldn't break character.
Oh, it makes sense. I figured they were gonna do something during the Hall of Fame induction of Ray, which I love Ray, man. He was the best for me when I was growing up. He was like nobody else out there. But I'm happy that they did something tasteful, and Dom kind of came up with that on the fly, and it wasn't, too much of, an overreaction. It was very subtle. It was enough to build some heat, as if he needed any more, but it was enough to build some more heat, and it was still respectful at the very least. And I was really pleased to see how they all made it work.
They can only do so much with this. I agree. So. Yeah. From that perspective, they kept it classy. They built up the match really well, great Hall of Fame speech. And now we're excited. Now, challenge me if I'm wrong here, but the WrestleMania, the entrance of the night to the ring belonged to Dom Mysterio. That was incredible. Showing him from the jail cell to the police van driving him out, all the guards walking him over. It gave me memories of Goldberg. Fantastic. They're pushing Dom to the moon. I loved it.
Absolutely. You turned me on to Dom when we were having that conversation a few months back. You're like, give it a shot. Every time, because I kept going back to Dom with Ray as a tag team. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it. But as I kind of got that ability too, I think a lot of being able to watch vignette after vignette and situation after situation, I'm like, you know what? This is actually really exciting. And then when Ray popped him in the face, I was standing. If I had popcorn, it'd be flying all over the place. I was absolutely fully invested in the storyline. That intro of Dom was amazing. I agree with you. Definitely one of the top of the night, but I think he just got edged out by his father. I loved the Eddie Guerrero music coming out and the lowrider, and it's Ray. I'm sorry, but I'm a humongous Ray fan. He is the guy that broke the mold, and for me, who I'm 5'7". And my dream when I was younger was to be a professional wrestler. That man made it look possible, right? And just for that, I hold a special place in my heart for Ray, man. He's one of a kind, that guy.
I don't have anything against Ray personally. It's more that I always tend to gravitate to the heels. I'm not a big face guy. Go back and watch some Buff Bagwell, Rey Mysterio matches. It's pretty freaking awesome, actually. It just, Ray sold it well when he was getting shellacked, and I loved watching it. I guess he was good from that end of it. But the whole 619 thing, and I don't get it quite, but I'm like, I'll go along with it. But I like his theme song, and I love how the crowd pops for him, and you have to have the face. So from that end of it, I didn't like non-mask Ray back in WCW. I didn't get that.
Neither did I.
Because he looks like he's 10. Like that didn't really work for me. But we agree that he did have a great entrance. I saw this entrance already, but not with Ray. I would have put Dom in the lowrider. I would have
Yes.
Vicky Guerrero ride in with him, say, I'm his real mommy. Have Vicky Guerrero and Rhea Ripley fight over who's mommy. That would have been a lot of fun. And Vicky, my sources have told me, is a full supporter of this whole storyline. She gave her blessing. So I agree. Those are two great entrances. It brought it for a great match. We're all excited. But does it have to be a cinnamon toast crunch Mysterio match?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because that match was spicy, bro. It was so good.
Okay, we had to endure the Mountain Dew Black match from Bray Wyatt ending of his career
Oh
pretty
man.
much, and Uncle Howdy botching his fall. Lord knows I don't understand what the Mountain Dew match had to do with it. So it's calling Mountain Dew match. Well, the Mountain Dew match apparently was so good that we need a cinnamon toast crunch match. We need a Mike's Hard Lemonade match. Oh boy, JP. The only thing is, if you're gonna make a cinnamon toast crunch match, make it for almost, make it for the fatal 4-way. Don't ruin the mystique of the Mysterios with cinnamon toast crunch. Sorry.
I fully agree with you on that, but you got to have eyes on it, right? If you're gonna have Omos, with all due respect, he's a great athlete live. I've seen him live. He's really interesting live, but he just, I don't know. I'd never feel attached to him, and I think if something like that was on, I'd probably, go grab some popcorn or something for a quick minute. You know what I mean? I wouldn't stay there. But for Ray and Dom, all eyes are on it. It's a great marketing opportunity to make some money. And it's better than them having them come out with tights with like sponsors or something, right? So
Fair. I mean,
they're
listen,
trying, right?
my trainer Jared always tells me like he'll call the fatal 4-way match. He'll call an almost match the dog walking match. The match when you have a 3-hour Raw and you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go check what's on the stove, you got to go walk your dog, got to go put baby to sleep. That's the kind of matches, almost fatal 4-ways, not a Mysterio match. Now let's talk about that one because we got to cover 2 other matches today. Let's talk about our experts firstly, what we predicted with this show. So with this particular match here, we had our 4 people, and we finished with a record of 1-3 in predictions. The only person who got that match right was the Dom fan, me. I said Ray was going to win that match. All of you put down that it's going to be Dom. Taking a look here, and let's see what we wrote about this. And I sent you these ahead of time, so you knew these are legit. These were all predicted before the actual matches. We sent them all on a Saturday, well ahead before any WrestleMania matches. I called it the match of the year. Everyone thinks it'll be Ray. I can see a hard-fought battle. Dom tries to cheat. LDF stops him. Ray will win, but they will not leave room that this is not over. Dom still has to look good. No way they hug and Dom turns face. That's some sources said that that's going to happen. I didn't see it happening. No. Better that Ray wins. Dom puts him in the hospital. That's more interesting. So I didn't quite get all my predictions there because Bad Bunny, by the way, setting up a Bad Bunny Dom feud. Oh, hell yeah. In Puerto Rico, hell yeah. Oh. They're putting him with Bad Bunny. That's a lot of respect because Bad Bunny is the guy.
Yeah, I felt bad for Bad Bunny. He looked like Dead Bunny in that choke snap.
Loved it. Damian Priest is awesome. He is a big dude. He sells it well. I loved Priest killing Bad Bunny. I'll take that every single week if I could get it. Now, JP, do you recall what you said on this match?
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of had a vision of how it could play down. If I was so lucky enough to be a WWE story writer, I would have loved to have it this way where Ray just got inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. So I thought how it was going to go down was Dom is actually going to end up retiring Ray. And I think because of where Ray is in his career and Dom is starting to take off, like I think that would have catapulted him to the moon had they done it this way. So I thought that it was going to be Ray and Dom going at it, Ray getting into a position where he's about to finish Dom off, whether it's a 619 or Hurricanrana or anything like that. And then he holds back. and he couldn't do it. Slows down, shakes his head, just says, I can't. And then that opens it up for Dom to come in, finish off Ray, get the 1, 2, 3. And now I think the amount of heat he would have generated, the, and it's not uncommon for WrestleMania to be that final chapter, that final few pages of the story. I think that was a real big opportunity there. And we know nobody ever stays retired. So it could have
Never,
still
ever,
opened up,
ever. Well,
right? So,
you called it Ray's final symphony, actually.
yes, I did. Yeah.
Well, so you called Ray on that one. David said, sorry, you called Dom as well.
Dom.
David called Dom with some sort of assistance. Timur, the lawyer, another lawyer in my office. So that's our 4 experts here. Timur came in and said Dom wins. So 1 for 3 on that one. Overall, just for the 2 nights, just so we're clear, there were 13 matches. We had 7 in night 1, 6 in night 2. I am not counting any of the Miz garbage matches. Those filler pieces of garbage. We're not going to go there. We have Riddle coming back to play with him. Like, you're going into a thing with Miz. It's not helping your career. Sorry.
I got to give some love to Snoop Dogg. When Shane went out and blew his knee, Snoop Dogg knew how to keep the show running, man. He improvised. He did a hilarious people's elbow. He got a loud pop. He kept the show going. He kept the energy up instead of seeing Shane on the mat doing nothing, right? And hopefully Shane recovers quick. But Snoop Dogg, he did it.
He's obviously not taking one lesson in running the ropes, but it's Snoop Dogg, so we'll let him go. Overall, yourself, David the producer, Timur the lawyer, you guys finished with 7-6 records in your predictions. I finished the worst at 6-7. Goes to show you, the so-called experts, guess what? We are all basically batting around 500. So that's how difficult it is to predict the world of wrestling. Let's get to match number 2. We got Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. If Dom is my boy, Gunther is a steady number 2. He's climbing up to number 1. I love Imperium. I love Gunther, the Ring General. He's doing everything possible. All you clowns picked Sheamus on this one. I don't know what you were thinking. I don't know if you thought it was Mohawk Sheamus. He has to get his last belt. He's got to finish his story. Everybody's got stories to tell and finish, apparently. This was in the top 3 matches in WrestleMania, in my opinion. Loved every second of it. Any Gunther match is awesome. I loved, and he had a great opening as well when they had the entrance. The way Kaiser came on the mic, it was a thing of beauty. I love Kaiser. How did you feel about this match going in, and how do you feel it went down?
So for Gunther, I have a problem with his theme song. To me, the beginning sounds like Baby Shark. And it's so hard for me to take him so seriously when they hear Baby Shark, do 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 do. Right? It's kind of really hard. But that man gives it his all. Every performance, he's put himself in terrific shape. You look at him from NXT to where he is now, he is an absolute monster. Those chops look like, they would knock you out of your skin. So, I knew it was going to be a real hard-fought battle, and all 3 of them are some of the stiffest guys out there, like Vader stiff, right? So I knew it was going to be something like, wow, like, don't miss a second of it. So that match just blew me away in terms of how much punishment they put on each other with all the welts afterwards. It was nuts. And you were right. I was gunning for Sheamus on that one. I wanted to see him complete the Grand Slam, get all the belts. That's the one that he's missing. And unfortunately, he came up a little short. I thought that he would win and they'd spin off into Drew and Sheamus program.
Gunther, the performance he put on at the Rumble is one of the best I've ever seen. I think he got robbed by Cody getting handed number 30. I think it was a travesty of justice. I think that Gunther should have won the Royal Rumble. I think he should have been in the main event at WrestleMania. And I think he's done nothing but be a superstar. He's carrying SmackDown on his back. I think they had to throw it to him. There was no reason to take this belt off of him. My prediction, long live Gunther. Sheamus is about to win. McIntyre, rumored to turn heel. They go nuts on each other. Gunther takes both out, pins Sheamus for the win. Gunther road to future WWE champ is coming. He showed so well at the Rumble, he cannot lose. I was pretty close on this one. I almost called it exact, except for he pinned McIntyre, but that's pretty close. That those two be the living bejeebers at each other. He took both out. He didn't do it cheaply. It's not like he came in when one was outside, like every fatal four-way, and just did a quick pin. He took both of them out. I think he earned it. JP, I'm looking at your comments here. My heart wants Sheamus because simply put, he deserves it. That's a last missing piece from his collection. I could see them with Drew starting a program again for the belt. Drew hits a Claymore on Gunther, but Sheamus will capitalize. Very heartwarming. I'm sure Sheamus would love that sleeping at night, but not going to happen. David said Sheamus pins Drew. Timur, Sheamus is going to pin Drew. Well, folks, not the way it went down. This is one of the few stories where I could tell you I saw it clearly. It had to happen this way. I'm glad it did. We get more Imperium. I just wish they would stop treating the Imperium tag team as a semi-jobber unit and start giving them the credit they deserve because they're great wrestlers. And I hope they start elevating them down a little bit because now they're making the division a little bit more jokey when you got Owens and Zayn, who's not a real tag team. So split up the belts. You have one set to Imperium. Case closed. The last match we're going to talk about in today's chapter is the biggie, of course. The one where we all messed up completely. We went a perfect 0 for 4. We would have gotten plus 200 gambling on this one, on those some semi-legal sites that had it. It showed. So we also went for 0 for 4 on the men's fatal 4-way. We should have known that Roman was going to get to 1,000 days. It looks way better to have him as the champ. He just got that look about him, especially selling it to UFC. I think they loved it. Bringing UFC over. How do you like this 161,000 people? Is this amazing? Don't you want to buy us? And I talked about everything that happened with Dusty Rhodes, with Cody. Like, somewhere, Triple H with the throne thing, he didn't forget about what Cody Rhodes did to him in AEW, I'm sure. When Cody Rhodes first came to WWE, I mentioned this to you off air, there was such excitement. Oh my God, Cody's moving over. They're going to do a big push. All I kept getting was memes of future 24/7 champ. Well, WWE proved them right at the end. You're not coming into our house as an outsider, and you ain't going to be so easy on you, Cody.
Yep, absolutely, man. To be honest, I've never been a big Cody fan, even at his time in AEW. He's got a lot of heart, but I don't connect with him for some reason. And I figured that that's what was going to happen because that's the trend. When you're not built by WWE, you're going to get taken apart. Right?
So what do you want to talk about?
What?
The whole shtick with Cody, here's the thing. He was not connecting with AEW fans either. Like, he was on the verge of being a heel over there because they could not take him anymore. And he didn't want to turn heel. He comes to WWE. His thing is exciting as a face. So was Lex Luger as the All-American back in the day, or American Made or whatever the heck they called him. But guess what? That stuff wears out real thin. It worked in the Hulkamania days back in the 80s. But those train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, it's not the way it goes. The NWO showed us we love our heels. We love our bad guys. And Roman Reigns, when that music plays, I was in Montreal, and when we had the last pay-per-view and Roman comes out, I was the only one holding up the one in the crowd. It felt like I was acknowledging him. People love to boo him. They love it. It's awesome. That music plays. He comes out. He's like, for the belt, raises the belt. It's just awesome. He asks for the mic, tells you to acknowledge him. Great champ. So what did I write on this one? I said, no way Roman should lose. He should get to his 1,000 days. But after Cody beats Solo clean to end the streak, sigh, Cody wins, finishes his story. Only good news is the Eagle belt will return. They're going to split up the belts. Cody was going to bring back the Eagle belt. Cody's going to defend each separately, finally loses one for the split. That's where I saw it going. You said that Cody will be Roman's nightmare. Cody will win. I'm expecting run-ins. Sammy and KO will back him up. Yeah, good there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
David thought Cody wins. Timur, Cody wins. Probably lots of interference with the Bloodline, KO, and Zayn. So didn't quite go the way we expected. Nobody saw Roman taking this. But how about those people that bet on Conor McGregor when he fought Floyd Mayweather? What were they thinking? We actually thought that Conor had a chance. They built it up so well that we thought, you know what? Conor may take him out. We actually thought Cody had a chance. Cody never had a chance, folks. If we studied the archives of wrestling, they were never going to let this happen. This is not, apple pie and vanilla ice cream wrestling. This is wrestling. This is badass, and this is the way it goes. So looking back on it, we didn't see it coming, but I think it was the ending they should have done. Maybe Cody wins a belt in the future. Maybe they're going to throw him the North American title or whatever title it's called these days. Maybe he'll win one of the split
US
belts.
Title.
The U.S. title.
It would look very good on him because of his whole, all the aesthetics that he has, his gear, his tattoo. The U.S. belt would actually look really good on him.
But he's got to finish his story. The last thing, conspiracy theory, tell me to end today's chapter. At 1,000 days, is Roman just going to say, you know what? You guys have nobody for me to beat. I'm done. Drop the belts, leave, do separate tournaments. Winner of the tournament of each one gets a split belt. Can you see that happening?
No, he's making money. I don't think they'll let him walk. Like I said in past interviews, if you're making money, Vince loves you, and he's not gonna let you walk. Same reason why they can't let Brock go. That man puts people in seats, and Roman has the same effect. So is Roman going to hold the belt for 3,000 days? Like, where do you see this going? At what point does he lose the belt? Is there anybody on this roster, do not say Braun Breaker, who is going to beat Roman Reigns? Oh, man. On the current roster, I can't see it because they're not, back in the Attitude Era, there were so many big players gunning for number one. I don't feel like they have that right now. I feel like, they've taken down the top contenders. Braun could have been somebody big, but he stepped away and tried his own thing. So I think he's going to be held back for that. Possibly Bray Wyatt might be somebody, but every time they do something with Bray, it like bogs down and crashes. But he has the potential to do it. I think there are very talented people on that roster, but I don't feel like anybody's putting all in and reaching for it. It's like as if they know that there's no chance of them taking the belt, right? So I would love to see the Usos, possibly. I think that could turn into a really interesting storyline.
If Jay or Jimmy one day were to get a belt, I could see. I mean, so would your pick right now be one of the Usos?
I could see an Uso.
All right. If we're gonna go on that, I remember now reading a story of another conspiracy theory that they're grooming Solo to turn on Roman. That could be interesting. Solo would be great. I mean, Samoan Spike. Come on, nobody can get past that. If I had to pick my guy right now, it's Gunther. I would tell you, keep building up Gunther. Keep him as the Intercontinental Champion. Combine all the belts and then give one away, give two away. But Gunther's the only guy I can see that's so dominant that I would love to see him versus Roman. I think that'd be a great match.
Yeah, definitely. I think that he looks legitimate. He looks like someone that's on that level. Before I think I sent you these predictions, there was the the SmackDown after I sent you my predictions. It was Solo versus Cody.
Yes.
And to see how hard Cody struggled against Solo, I'm like, I had some doubts that he'd pull it off on Mania because, not that Solo isn't awesome. He's the rookie of the bloodline and you're struggling against him, right? I didn't expect it to be a full out squash, but it looked like he barely got out with the skin on his back, right? So, I don't know right now who's active that can do it. I'm a big Bobby Lashley fan. I think he's got a lot of good things. I know you're not huge about Bobby, but I really like Bobby Lashley. He's a legit tough guy. He's done MMA.
There's
He looks
only
great.
one way I'm going to agree to Bobby Lashley moving forward in life. Give him back MVP. Do not
Yes.
let this man take a mic ever again. I don't ever listen to him again. We have Bobby Lashley with MVP. We put back the Hurt Business with Omos. Keep him as the
Yes.
bodyguard like Diesel. Then you got yourself Bobby Lashley heel with them. Yes. Bobby Lashley, no. Hell no. And when he talks, it's worse. It's terrible.
I feel you, man.
Sorry, Bobby. I love you, buddy, but you can't talk on the mic. You're more intimidating when you're just. That works for me. With MVP does a good job. They never should have broken up the Hurt Business, Vince.
No, they shouldn't. That was a big mistake, man. They were a hot team. They were doing great. They were moving merch. I was really surprised that they split up. The Hurt Business, man. That was a fun team to watch, man.
There was no reason to do that. Ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's where they do gimmick changes sometimes. Do other things when it's going well. Let's keep the good times rolling. Jail Dom has to keep going. So, and don't forget, that was the vignette of the year. Dom in jail. You think this is a joke, man? Prison, it changes a man. You know, that vignette was, I've watched it 50 times. I love it even more every day. Dom is great. Bravo. It's going to go well for him. He's going to be with Bad Bunny. So there's good things ahead for some people. Rest in peace, Cody, right now. I'm sorry, buddy, man, but they are squashing you real bad. It's going to come to the point that Otis is going to take him out. And then I'm really worried about Cody's future as the future 24/7 champ. Fans, please send in your comments, questions for JP Superfan. We got 2 more weeks coming up of WrestleMania recaps because you know WrestleMania is the big show. We could talk about it all year because nothing happens after WrestleMania anyways until we get to SummerSlam, which, by the way, I'm going in Detroit. I hope you're going as well. It's gonna be a big SummerSlam. I see good things happening in SummerSlam. I've always liked that event. So stay tuned. We'll see you back next week, and we're gonna cover more of WrestleMania 39.
All right, buddy. See ya.
See you soon.